accomplishment feeling in your heart when you are obedient to the Lord. On the flip side of that, many of us have probably not been obedient to the Lord. I can raise my hand to that one also. I've sat in that pews right there many times, and God told me to do something or to say something. It's not the right time. Who am I to tell God that it's not the right time? Amen? It's just like Ananias. When God told him to go, he didn't jump up and say, okay, I'm going. He said, God, I've heard how evil this man is. You want me to go talk to him? That would be like you going, the Lord just told you to go talk to this guy in Russia, Putin, whatever his name is. I wouldn't be so anxious to get up and take a plane ride over to Russia and tell him, hey, you're wrong. God don't want you to do this. It'd probably be the end of things, right? Well, I'm sure that's about how Ananias felt with Saul. Yeah. Saul had letters in his hand that he could kill anybody who was serving the Lord. They was trying to wipe this out of the face of the earth. And he had letters in his hand, and he already had done his job. I mean, he had been having Christians killed. So I'm sure Ananias wasn't real happy about this. But he was obedient. The Lord had a simple job for him, though. I mean, it was simple, wasn't it? It was dangerous, but it was simple. All you got to do, Ananias, is get up, go down a couple blocks to the street called Straight, knock on the door, go in, lay your hands on Saul, and pray for him. We've all done something similar before. How many times have we come up here and laid hands on each other and prayed for our healing? Amen? We all know how to do it. Ananias knew how to do it, but he was still afraid to do it, wasn't he? I'm glad Ananias was obedient. Now, one of the main reasons why he was obedient is because a little different than Saul's situation. When Saul was on the road to Damascus and he got struck blind, he heard the voice. He heard God talking to him. And what did he say? Who art thou? He didn't know who it was, did he? He didn't know God. He said, who are you? And Jesus had to explain who he was. Now, the difference is Ananias was down praying, and he heard the voice telling him to go to the street named Straight. Go pray for Ananias. Go pray for Saul. He didn't say, who art thou? He said, Lord. My own words here. Why don't you get somebody else? Lord. But he knew exactly who was talking to him, didn't he? It was the Lord. He knew his voice because he was in prayer. He was a Christian man. He prayed daily. He knew the voice of the Lord. Amen. The Lord would not have went to a person who was not prayed up, willing to do his job. He wouldn't even give him that command to go unless you knew his voice. Amen. Which comes right back to our prayer life. The closer you are to the Lord, the more you're going to listen to the Lord because you're going to understand that it is the Lord. Now, I just can't get over the amazing way that God works through prayer. How, and this has happened at different times in my life, to where somebody's praying. I mean, it's kind of hard to explain. It's kind of hard to see it in action until you're in the trap already, I would say. But somebody is praying for something, and God's dealing with that person, and then you're over here on the other side of town praying, and God lays something on your heart, and it works out where your paths cross, and you do for the person what the person needed done, and then later you look back and says, that wasn't me, I ain't that smart. That had to be God working. Yeah. Amen? And I've been stuck in that situation a time or two, but it's not really being stuck. It's being obedient, doing what the Lord tells you to do. But it's just always amazing to me to look how God is working in our lives. For us feeling so insignificant that God would use us to do his will. Isn't that amazing? But that's how God gets his will done, is through the church. Each and every one of us being obedient to the Lord and doing just like Ananias did, saying, Lord, I'll go. I know it's dangerous. I'm scared to do it. But Lord, whatever your will is, I'm willing to do it. Amen? Like I said before, it's never my place to tell the Lord the timing's not right. God knows all about timing, don't he? He sets things in motion, and it works out the way that he would have it to work out. I just thank the Lord so much that he thinks it's worth using me to do any small part that I can do. Each and every one of you being obedient, doing any little thing that the Lord has. I mean, there's no greater feeling than serving the Lord. Amen? And that's part of serving the Lord. It's not all, Lord, I don't have enough money this week. Why don't you help me out? I need this or I need that. Sometimes, and I think it's some of the deepest blessings that you can get, is when you're on the other side of this, and you're the one that's obeying the Lord to be an answer to prayer. Am I the only one that feels so unworthy to be used by the Lord? I mean, no matter how small of a task, go. Kenny, why don't you go over and cut that lady's grass and tell her something about the Lord? It's something easy to do, but sometimes it takes a little courage to do it, doesn't it? Amen? Now, the Lord knows each and every one of us. He knows our heart. He knows our name. He knows if you're available. He knows if you're willing. Let's just all draw close to God. We need a prayer life. If you don't have a prayer life, you got to make your prayer life stronger. Amen? Yeah. Get a little closer to those mountains. I'm using the mountain as an example of God. God is so big, he makes the mountain look insignificant. I want to encourage each and every one of you. This week, the rest of your life, whatever, draw close to God. You'll never regret getting closer to God. I'm afraid that one of these days at the end of our lives, we might be disappointed that we didn't get closer to God. We'll never regret being too close to God. That's right. If you guys will come back to the music, I'd appreciate this.